The purpose of this panel today is to talk a little about innovation and how innovation is working in the industry. We just announced the Bridge Labs this morning. There's a number of press releases. Check out ATPCO.net, the new website. Innovation at ATPCO takes several forms. We're engaging the industry and academia, trying to work out how to work better with our partners. We're investing in technology. You just saw that with the team that were just up, and really tomorrow you have to go look at the stuff they built. It's really incredible. I'm blown away. And finally, our incubation of new technologies. The panel I have today all come to the table with different perspectives on innovation. We have an airline, a startup, and an industry expert. Everybody, do you want to do a quick introduction? Start off with Carlos.
Hi, how are you? I'm Carlos Jovel. I lead LATAM's Revenue Innovation Group. It's LATAM Airlines Innovation Lab. And I've been doing this for about 7 years at LATAM.
Okay. Sergio?
Good morning. I'm Sergio. I'm CEO and co-founder of Airnguru. We are a data integrator producing next-generation pricing intelligence platform for airlines and the travel industry. We are gathering millions of airfares from ATPCO and computing billions of prices every hour.
And Norm.
And I'm Norm Rose. I'm president of Travel Tech Consulting. I've been a consultant for 22 years with a very clear focus on emerging technologies. And so I'm always interested in the next innovation.
So we'll kick it off. What does innovation mean, right? How does innovation apply to all of you individually in your roles on a day-to-day basis? How are you embracing innovation? Carlos, we'll keep going with you.
So from my perspective, in our group, we sit between the business, technology, and the unknown, and that's what we see as innovation. We try to articulate the knowledge that's out there with the technology, with the potential, the unknown, all those solutions that are in there, but need a solution, right? And we do so essentially by recruiting, we believe, the best talent in Latin America, and asking them to, find either through, products off the shelf, either by partnering with startups or by creating themselves, the most cost-effective solution. That's, for us, what innovation means.
And when you're searching for these people and you're bringing that talent in, how quickly can they embrace the airline space? There's so much to learn in this thing. How do you find that challenge?
It is a complex industry, and there's a lot to know. I mean, it's always hard to put, talent to work right away. But when you find the right people with the right training, and you empower them and train them to ask questions, it's much easy to find the answers, right? So we focus on bringing on board people, rather than bringing the knowledge,
right,
bringing the people with the intellectual curiosity and with the ability to learn how to ask questions and question what's out there. So, and that's how we believe we trigger the innovation process.
Okay, interesting. So from a startup point of view, Sergio, right? What does innovation mean to you? You'd think it's core to everything you do every day of your life.
Well, we are an innovation company. We are leveraging the power of cloud and big data to produce this new pricing intelligence systems. So we partner with airlines and travel industry players that want to speed up their innovation, solve complex business problems, and we work together and produce a high speed, high level of service, priority for our customers. That's the way we do it.
Okay. And I love that if people haven't seen the solution, visualization of complex fares data. It's really interesting to be able to map everything you have in a market and be able to see via hotspots what's working and what's not. It's a real different way of doing business. So, Norm, right now you're living and breathing innovation, right? We met last time, we were at an incubator, a bunch of very young startups, all wanted to get into travel, want to improve the travel experience. It's a real passion out there. Everybody wants to make travel better. and they're coming looking to people like Norm for advice.
You know, it's challenging. I see probably about 150 startups a year through either my work with Focusrite or Plug and Play or the local Travel Tech Con. And it's amazing how much enthusiasm is out there for innovation. The challenge is that gap between the knowledge of what it takes to innovate in the industry versus what they think they would do. As an example, at the meeting that we attended, they're very hungry for APIs. And their first thought, as someone from outside the travel industry, well, maybe Expedia has an API to work with, because that is the consumer-facing side of the travel industry. They probably wouldn't even know what ATPCO is. So I think the real key for innovation in our industry is to stop looking within only. And I admire hackathons, I admire incubators and accelerators and so forth, but we need to really embrace the entire software community. So if we didn't have the software community embracing technology, we wouldn't have things like Linux, which is probably the #1 open source OS that's in data centers around the world. It's that type of innovation that comes from the entire group of software developers worldwide, and that's what we need to really access to be innovative in this industry.
Okay, so and I really like your response, Carlos, on finding people who are open and inquisitive. One of the things, having been around the block a few times in travel, I find that, especially in the airline space, is that airlines are under such pressure to increase margin. They have to run operationally excellent every single day, dealing with new competitors and new business models, and at the same time having to reinvent their existing technology to be competitive. All this is going on at the same time. They have to keep an eye out on innovation. So from an airline, how the approach you've taken grasps me that it really works well. Do you think the airline CEO stacks innovation at the top of their list, or is it just a day-to-day concern?
So we at LATAM, we've been making very significant changes at the top executive level. And what our new Chief Commercial Officer, Roberto Alvo, really knows is that what we do know is that prices are going to continue to go down. ULCCs are a reality, and the game have changed. So innovation is going to be critical to not only survive, but to thrive in this new environment. And so we've been investing massively to essentially find opportunities. As you know, systems are sticky, right? And it's really hard to change and disrupt, but we've been investing to find those spaces and automate and reduce the costs in which we operate and generate those revenues to be faster, leaner, and so on.
Interesting. And so, Sergio, there's a number of programs that airlines run to try and incentivize startups. We have the various labs, Lufthansa Labs, JetBlue Tech Ventures, Sabre, Amadeus, Travelport, they all have labs. What's your experience in dealing with those? Are they actually helping the airline to be more innovative, to be more agile?
Well, definitely. I don't think there is a single model that fits all. It depends on the phase of innovation where you are. It depends on the type of innovation challenge that you have.
Right.
What the best model for it's going to be. Well, my own experience, we are an example of innovating, helping airlines speed up their innovation process in a specific and very complex business problem. I lived another very good experience at LAN a long time ago with LAN.com, when LAN decided to launch their new e-commerce site in 2001. The e-commerce team was built like a startup. Their own culture, their own budget, no bureaucracy, their own dressing code. So, and it was very successful. In a few years, it became the largest e-commerce in South America.
Yes.
So there's all sorts of examples. I think it's important to do something about it. A legacy organization, it's very hard to change. It's very hard to fight against the bureaucracy.
Right.
So you need to try and test different models.
And one of the things I know I've run against, and normally you'll have seen this, is there's no tolerance for failure in travel, right? If you're in a team and you're working to develop a new product, a new capability into the airline, it has to be 99.999 accurate and correct. And how does innovation live in that ballpark? It's impossible, right?
It's very, very difficult because if you look at Google as an example, I mean, they still have a certain percentage of their engineers spending their time on developing something new. And that type of freedom to allow innovation to happen in a traditional company is very difficult. I think also to tag on to that, the other piece of this is once the innovation is developed, can it be brought back into the organization, and is it going to meet obstacles for people who feel like their jobs or their technology or their position is being threatened? And that happens very frequently. So not only reaching out and getting that innovation done in a very creative way, but being open internally to allow the innovation to come and to be aware, as you said a moment ago, that it's not necessarily 100% accuracy. Right. There's some failure rate.
Okay, we're kind of close on time. I do want to do one closing question. Having worked with ATPCO, all of you, what would you like from the ATPCO Bridge Labs? What does it mean to you?
I think that the industry conversation, it's essentially heading to the ONDC conversation, and current distribution capabilities are going to be there for quite a while. And so we do need a bridge, and we do need to get there to the NDC world. But I think that through the Bridge Labs, there's an opportunity to enhance and accelerate this bridge from current distribution capabilities to new distribution capabilities, and hopefully bring the future sooner rather than later. And so that would be my expectation.
Thanks. Sergio?
As data integrators, my message, my thought is give availability and access to data at a low cost, and the industry will flourish. If you have data available, data accessible, innovators will come and produce miracles out of data. Yeah. But there is a bigger proportion of the travel industry with very little or no access to data because it's financially, they cannot reach it financially.
Good. And Norm, just to close us out?
I would say that there has to be an emphasis on emerging trends. To all due respect, NDC is XML. And if you talk to anyone in technology, no one's going to tell you that's new and innovative. That's pretty old. There's a lot of things that are happening today in technology, and I think through the labs environment could be brought and really help move the industry forward.
Okay. Look, thanks everybody. It was great talking to you. I love getting your opinions. Find these guys, question them about innovation, what you should be doing at your airline. Come talk to me about what we're doing at the Bridge Labs, and thank you very much.